What's up, everybody? Peter here, everyone's favorite host with the most. Before we get into it, I'd like to remind you that this episode of the SD Geek Podcast is brought to you by MUZMM. They make these stylish, transforming backpacks, perfect for anyone who wants to take their belongings on the go and look sexy while doing it. If you want to save 20% off your next order, you can visit muzmm.com/STGeekPod or use offer code STGeekPod at checkout. Thank you for the support. Now on to my show. The show. I meant the show.
Sure, Glen, yes.
This man drinks beer. He doesn't make it, Glen.
Thank you, Peter.
The
Kardashians? No, I'm good,
bro. That's a family that's never came. Yeah. Anyways.
I
get it.
Hi. We're doing a podcast.
Currently, right now.
That's what this is.
All three of us drinking from Marvel cups because all three of us are Marvel fanboys.
Yes, clearly. and we're going to give you our thoughts on the Snyder Cut, which is obviously biased. We clearly hate it. We haven't even we haven't even seen it yet, but we hate it. We're gonna record in a minute.
Okay, I can't lie anymore. I fucking hate it so much.
I loved it.
Okay, real talk. Okay. First of all,
I'm reversing.
Okay, first of all, I don't even know. First, I believed him. He was really good. I didn't know whether he was okay. Anyway, this is for two podcasts, I guess.
It's like a crossover.
It's like a crossover podcast.
Yeah, collaboration.
That is the word.
Collab.
Yes.
The cool kids say collab.
Yep.
Okay.
That's the Gen Z way of saying we work together now for a moment.
Not permanently. I can't stand you guys.
So I can't say that we're millennials because then nobody will listen to us.
Correct.
Oh,
don't do that.
Millennials are old. It's all Gen Z now.
Cancel.
So it's like an ST Geek, Fresh Ones, Mad Raven extravaganza.
Just say it's an orgy.
Just an orgy of podcasts.
It's what's happening. My pants are off. Glenn's shirt's off. Why are we like this? I don't know. It's an orgy.
Yeah, I'm wearing my
Don't hate on us.
Too. I completely forgot about that.
There we go.
That's Glenn's orgy name, Man Raven.
It's true. Everything you follow me on, there's a raven on top of it.
Catch him on OnlyFans, everybody. So I'm your host today. My name's Peter. With me is a couple of others.
I'm Glen.
My name is definitely John.
Yeah.
There's no age.
Peter's the only one that has his hand in like two different podcasts.
Technically, John does. John does.
Yeah. Beer Belly. At
Beer
beerBellyPod.com. I said .com. We don't have a .com.
And technically, you do. I think all three of us have our hand in two pods.
Yeah. Well, I disbanded MRM because nobody on that end wanted to do anything with it. And it was just me, so I decided to fuck it. I'll just do my own, and then I talked to you into one.
You tricked me into one.
I did.
Tricked.
I did. I wanted to say talk, but I wanted to be nice. But yeah, I tricked him into one.
It's better when you trick people.
I forgot what it was. It was something over a tweet. Anyways, that's not what we're talking about.
We're talking about the greatest film ever made.
Okay, I'm gonna stop it right there. Greatest DC film ever made.
No.
No?
I don't know about that.
Okay. Before we talk about it, what is the greatest?
Okay, Snyder Cut. Here we go. We're just going into it. Normally we do some news first, but there's a lot to cover with the Snyder Cut. Yeah, we
have 4 hours, guys. Not 1, not 2,
not even 3.
Not. You thought Lord of the Rings was long. God damn, this movie is so long.
With just as many endings.
With that very gay look. I love Clerks too.
We're all looking at John.
I've seen it. I just don't remember it, but I've seen it. Peter was there when I watched it.
It's true. I was.
You watched it when I died.
Yeah, so I seen it.
It was great.
That's
anyway, Snyder Cut.
Snyder Cut. Yeah.
Are we doing spoilers, or are we just
spoilers? Really, it felt like the movie was spoiled before it even
hit watched the
HBO Max.
The good guys win.
Yep.
This movie was spoiled
by Zack
through 2 years ago. This is 2 years ago when Zack finally got on board with the Snyder Cut. He started spoiling things.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then all the trailers and all the little clips.
Well, that was all the clips. Yeah.
Right? There's
So
like a bunch
many
of them.
fucking clips.
There was.
I feel like Marvel does the same thing.
It does, but it's a lot easier for me to avoid when it's Marvel for some reason. It felt like I could not escape all the Snyder Cut buzz.
Do you have notifications on when I tweet something?
Yes.
That's why he can't.
There you
avoid
go.
it.
Okay.
That
You
makes
fucking
complete
fanboy.
sense.
It's your fault, Glenn.
No, I was.
You're why I hate
3
Snyder.
years. 3 years nonstop Snyder Cut for me. I was invested the second Zack started posting shit. I was like, that's badass. I want this.
Okay.
I honestly never thought I was actually going to see it the light of day.
I think most people didn't either.
Yeah, but I knew that there was one, and
Well, I think we all did. I mean,
In some capacity.
because
let me go back to ST Geek episode early.
episode early.
Episode
Okay.
early.
I'm not
Okay.
sure which one.
Fact checked.
And it was a Snyder Cut thing.
Damn, Glenn coming in with the gotcha journalism. You said on this date.
It was an early one. I don't remember which one it was exactly. But the title did have Snyder Cut in there.
Invalid.
And then there was a rant on how this didn't exist. This was a...
That was more recently.
Okay, that was more recently
Yeah.
also, but this was also a really late one. This is a straight John Campea type of thing. Fuck you, by the way. Of it's never going to see the light of day. It doesn't even exist.
I don't
It didn't exist. He put it together, but all of the film,
He had a straight assembly cut.
it was all filmed,
Yes.
but there was not a cut until he made the cut.
yeah, it's assembly cut is what it's called
I don't
before.
know.
Yeah, I believe so, yeah.
Assembly cut before.
Or like a
so
rough cut, something
So
like
what
that.
I said wasn't technically wrong
You guys weren't wrong, but you guys were...
because he didn't make it until he got approved to make it.
Yeah.
There was no cut. It wasn't already done and put away in a vault.
Like
But
he
there
made
was-
it like he made it
people-
seem.
He did make it seem because he had on things say, or on, I forgot what fucking video it was, but it was a convention and he did say, I do have a cut, but he also says I have many of them. So take it
He
as
probably
it is.
did have a cut in mind. Like he probably already knew doing this, and that. But it wasn't, again, in a vault on a 4K DVD.
Yeah,
flash
when
drive.
this, when
Or
this
in full
whole,
screen as he envisioned it.
yes, his cut quotes that he said before, it was a 2 hour and 14 minute, not whatever 4 hour minute is.
Christ, 4 hours.
214. 214 is just 3.5 hours. It's more than...
It's already too many minutes.
Dude, that's a lot of minutes.
2.5 hours is the sweet
But-
spot for me.
But 4 hours?
3 hours is
for
pushing
me,
it.
4 hours for me flew by so good.
Oh, you're so full of shit.
Flew by so good. I watched it midnight. I woke up to take Rosa to work at 8 in the morning and watched it again.
You're so full of shit that
I-
4 hours flew by.
Let's
Let's get into it. I'm gonna get okay. This is an oversimplification. It's mostly the same.
No, it's the same fucking movie.
Mostly,
Well, yeah, I mean-
like the same story beats are there.
You
Pretty
got
skeleton.
Batman. You got Batman putting. You have to find a team together. Resurrection of Superman, defeating Stephanie.
Yeah, it's mostly the same. That being said, there's a lot of new stuff in there that
A lot.
actually fleshes out
About
the characters.
2 hours.
2 hours worth of new stuff.
Roughly 2 hours.
A lot of or I guess they weren't redone. They're the original takes of some scenes.
Yes.
That being said, I feel like in this 4 hour cut, you could leave so much on the table, and it would
Yes.
still be a good movie.
Jesus Christ.
There's just there's so much. It's so long.
But it was so
It's
good.
not, though.
I love the compare. I love there's a transition of disgustance, and then it's followed up with like a whipped cream of being amazing, but like underneath it's too disgust on top of underneath a whipped cream kind of fucking thing going on.
Elephant in the room. It's better. It's
Again,
better
I was
than the
gonna-
theatrical cut.
Easily.
It's easily better.
Easily.
Second elephant in the room. I am kind of biased on this.
Of course you are.
So-
you would. John and I know that. You know that.
Y'all know it. Follow. Go on my Twitter and you'll see it. At random ones underscore.
Or his OnlyFans, Man Raven.
Look it up. You'll be disappointed.
It was better. It was a lot better.
It's certainly better. It's still way longer than it needs to
Yeah, it
be.
didn't need to be 4 hours.
Particularly, and I was telling Glenn this. I tried to save as much as I could for the pod, but I let some of it slip to Glenn earlier. This is a problem throughout the movie, but particularly in the first 45 minutes to an hour, there is so much goddamn slow-mo in this fucking movie. It is aggravating, particularly in the first, hour, like I said. I feel like 30% of the movie's runtime is because there's so much damn slow-mo.
There was one specific scene where the slow-mo felt like, okay, we get it.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say it was at the beginning. More towards the end.
Well, it starts off with slow-mo, which, is very stylistic, I'll say. Superman dying in his shockwave. I feel like it goes on a bit too long, in my opinion. But even so, there's just little splashes of slow-mo here and there that don't really add anything to this. There's the part towards the end in the final battle where Wonder Woman does a flip and you hear her, oh! And then it slows down.
Don't even get me started on Wonder Woman.
Why didn't they keep the guitar?
See, well, here's the funny thing, at least from my perspective. In the theatrical cut, I feel like they overused her guitar riffs. They really drove that to the ground to where it became laughable.
So fucking abuse another sound, right?
So in this one, they used that one very scarcely, twice, maybe 3 times, very effectively, and replaced it with another one that they overused.
Zach was there with the soundboard.
It was really good. Like that. When the scene that you're talking about is the very beginning when they're doing that very weird, I'm gonna blow up the bank or whatever Lord building that they're in with Wonder Woman, where they transition into her new fucking tribal theme into the guitar riff.
Yes, and I feel like it works there.
It
better than
beautiful.
the theatrical cut.
I was like, fuck yes, I could get behind this. This is an improvement to it. But then they drop the fucking guitar riff. Never again. And it was just...
They drop it 2 or 3 times. I can't tell you specifically where.
I only remember one time.
It was a few times, at least twice.
So, since we're on that subject, the score overall was just too much for me. I'm going to quote The Weekly Planet, one of my favorite podcasts of all time. And, it's Mesa, who says the best kind of scores are the scores that you don't really notice. And in this movie, I felt like I heard every sound and every song that was being played.
I wouldn't have said it so gracefully, but yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
I feel like it stuck out.
Every main character got their own little musical montage for a second. Like Aquaman has his slow-mo walking into the beach.
Guess what? When you have 4 hours worth of seconds, it equals out to 30 minutes of fucking music.
No, it really does. Flash has his own little thing. Wonder Woman has her own humming thing that gets driven into the... I know exactly what you mean. It doesn't do the movie any favors.
I actually loved it. Besides the woman theme and a couple other themes that were going on. But I think Junkie XL killed it.
Good killed it?
Killed it. Good killed it.
Come on, we're talking to Gen Zs, remember. We're pretending to be Gen Zs right now. So killed it, good killed it.
I can't do that. I'm starting to sweat by just pretending. No, but I think they good killed it. Besides, obvious, I'm not going to talk about it ever again because I can't get over it. But I think Junkie killed it.
Sure.
Yeah, I think he killed it. I understand that.
Junkie
XL.
Junkie XL. He's the guy that did the sound. The music,
I don't know how to pronounce his last name. It's Tom something with an H. He's done
a lot of things. He's actually pretty big. Yeah. But he worked with what he was given. They had a cut, and
I don't think he's the one who controls the volume either. I don't think. I'm sure he composes everything, but you can make it a little bit more subtle.
Okay.
I'd imagine in IMAX it pops, for sure. But I'm not gonna watch this.
Still makes the movie way too long.
It just takes me out of it sometimes. Sometimes it's really noticeable, and there are other times where it's just fucking ridiculous. It's not really a score, but I'm just saying it because it was in the first fucking 15 minutes. Aquaman has a group of groupies. You saw that, right?
He has
drooling over his fucking sweater.
Yeah, it's creepy. It's kind of creepy. And they have their own little Icelandic hymn, chant for him. It was weird.
That was a little weird. That was stalker status. Smells like fish.
Again,
but it's literally a poor city, a poor town that gets saved by Aquaman by they bring him food and everything, or he brings them food.
And you can get that message across without having them do that weird little hymn. I kind of already got that. Like the fact that they came in and they were kind of protecting him in that little council meeting that they were having. I already get that idea that they're very like appreciative.
Grateful I mean, Bruce Wayne says it himself. You do all these good things and you think it goes unnoticed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we already know he's a great person.
So like, yeah, why
do we need to see groupies?
It's yeah, I think it's weird.
I think it's great.
It's super weird.
It's fucking awesome.
It's weird. The movie's maybe if the movie wasn't 4 hours long, it wouldn't bother me so much. But the movie's too fucking long.
It would bother you more because then you'd be like, this scene shouldn't even be here.
What?
Yeah. If this movie was 2.5 hours, like it was originally supposed to be, that scene could have been deleted out, and you would have bitched about it on being in the movie.
That didn't clear anything up. I'm more confused.
About what?
About what you just like. I'm not sure what you.
I feel like you're saying Peter would bitch regardless if it was in or not in the movie.
No, I think he would have. I think Peter would have bitched that it's in the movie, but by saying that it's 4 hours long and we don't need it in there, which
no, it makes it worse that it's 4 hours long. You're right. It is out of place regardless of the length of the movie. I think it's weird, but it makes it even worse that it's already so fucking long. That makes it stand out even more. It's like, okay, you can trim a little fat here. Like, that's not substance. You're not having a revelation of any kind. It's not adding anything to the movie. It's just something that's there.
A great edit scene is literally the scene right after, right? Is it right after when he meets with Alfred?
Yes, I love that scene.
I felt like that was very appropriate. I was like, okay.
Why couldn't we go to the King's Tide in Jamaica or Fiji?
Yeah, exactly. There's stuff that they add where it's like, okay, that's great.
Interaction between Bruce and Alfred in every sense.
Alfred is amazing. Jeremy Irons is just fucking great.
This beer, oh.
Are we ready for the next one? The last one?
Yeah, let's...
Okay, after that, we're going...
Okay, who's going to start the next rant so John can pour the next round of beers?
You could go with the rant because my only complaint on that movie was Wonder Woman's theme.
Only complaint?
That's what I said!
And there was... I didn't like... Cyborg's CGI.
It's
every scene that he starred in, hated it.
He just looks really bad.
The design is pretty. Yeah, I don't like the design at all.
I don't think the CGI fit.
I think for me it's both. I don't think. Well, some people will argue, but I think any rational mind wouldn't argue that the CGI is great. But for me personally, it's that, and I just don't like that he's mostly he's more robot than man. He's barely a cyborg.
Yeah, I think the only thing that's man is
half
his face,
right?
Yeah, pretty much. Half his face is human. I just don't like that design aspect to him.
But
he should be more man.
Those two are my complaints. I mean, I'm pretty sure if you guys throw out more, and I will probably agree with them. But if I start talking opposite on it, then obviously I don't think so.
I'm gonna go grab my notes.
Oh my god, don't grab your notes.
I kind of want to grab my notes.
Just talk about it off the top of your head.
There's so many things I forget, though.
No, I told him I want him to grab these.
I'm going to grab my notes.
Oh my god.
I'll be back. Rant.
In the meantime, word from our sponsor. And welcome back to the show. I'd like to thank Anchor.com. Anchor.something for Anchor.something for our .fm.
Yeah, I thought it was .fm.
Oh, it is .fm. I'd like to thank Anchor.
Take two.
Yeah. I'd like to thank Anchor.fm. Sorry, I just had ice cream right quick.
Take three.
Okay,
I was going
to keep going.
Okay.
Take three. I hate messing up because now I overthink things. Welcome back to the podcast. I would like to thank Anchor.fm for sponsoring Fresh Ones podcast. And if I decide to put this on MRM's podcast.
Follow us at STGeekPod@gmail.com. You can follow us on all the social medias at Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. I think that's it.
Talk.
I don't think we have Talk anymore since China turned on us. At STGeek.com. I keep saying .com at STGeekPod. Yeah, let us know.
All right. Yep. Hit us
all right.
I don't associate with STGeek over that China thing. No, follow Glen at Random Ones. All social media. Well, not all social medias. Twitter, Instagram. I stream on Twitch more often. But if you want to hear nonsense and argue with me, find me at Twitter or Instagram.
And you'll find plenty of it there. Some of it here, actually. You may have heard some already.
That's a good one. All right. So Peter's list. Let's just go down the list.
There's so much on the list.
Okay. Let's go.
Before we go with the list,
Okay.
this isn't that bad. What
I
are we drinking now?
beer.
It's a double dry hop.
Double dry?
No,
double
no.
IPA, I think you were saying?
This isn't bad.
It's a double dry hop fused West Coast IPA.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of IPAs at all.
You liked them,
But I liked yes, I didn't care for the first one. I love the second one. I didn't care for the pie one, but that float one was good, and this one's not bad. So I haven't hated any of them.
We could have super collabed and also done Beer Belly.
Technically,
We kind of did. We were kind of doing exactly that. Yeah.
Oh my god! All right, I'm ready for this list.
Okay. I want to hear this list too.
Okay, before I start going down the list, I do want to say that towards the bottom of my first page, back to back, I have in all caps so much slow-mo and so much chanting.
Yep.
Ready to talk about it.
Just saying.
Didn't mind the slow motion. Honestly, biased, like I said. I'm not a Snyder biased. I'm not part of that. I'm not, because we could like 4 of his movies now.
That doesn't mean anything.
I mean,
Well, about 4 or 5 years ago on Facebook, I said something like Zack Snyder sucks, and Glen responded, Zack Snyder's amazing.
facts. I don't know. Please find this.
I will.
Yeah,
Not right
please.
now.
No, not right now.
But I will. It's on my Facebook book.
Okay, good. 5 years ago, where's the Facebook book? Actually, shouldn't be that bad. We don't even post on there.
I don't. I'll find it
Yeah,
soon.
it'll be quick. Anyways, list.
At the top of the next page, I have even more slow-mo and so many musical cues.
Told you. Said it. That was probably my biggest 2 complaints in this movie. And the music was one of them. I'm not saying it's bad. It's just too much.
I feel like you get halfway through this movie and it actually starts getting interesting. And I feel like part of that is because it starts getting very different from the theatrical version, and 2, we get past all of the, I'll just call it what it is. It's boring setup. I think it's boring.
Okay.
And it might be boring because it's stuff that we've seen before. There's definitely an argument to be made there. But also, I just think it's all the other things we're saying. There's all this slow-mo. There's all these musical cues. Everybody has their own slow-mo theme.
Aquaman has groupies.
Yeah. I will say, though, one of the better additions is, and it's something that we saw in early trailers that got cut for the original release, was that's her name, Iris West, and Flash's when we first see his powers. I think that's awesome. I think it's cool that he just rips out of his shoes and does a thing. I also like that, generally speaking, he's still quippy in this one, but he's not mind-numbingly annoying.
He's not a little nerd.
Yeah.
I think that's the best way of putting it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because in the Whedon cut, he was too scared to fight, right? Or some shit.
He was a bitch, and also he didn't know how. He ran like a person who never ran in his life. He tripped in every scene that he ran.
I would argue that another character was turned into a bitch in this movie.
Go on.
So, something I didn't notice until about an hour and a half in, and my fiance pointed it out. And when she pointed it out, I was like, holy fuck. Batman doesn't do shit in this movie. At least not in the first 3 hours. And I think it became super evident to me when Superman came back to life and everybody was fighting, and then once they're all down, he kind of comes out of a truck. Hey guys, I helped. and he just cowers in fear.
The funny thing about that scene is, he just stands at the end of the little lake there and just waits for Superman to come and pick him up.
There's a whole fight happening, and he's just, hey guys.
No,
I did something.
He hasn't done anything. But...
At the last hour, he did a little bit more, but those first 3 hours, you could really tell he's a man.
The whole fucking movie is just a fucking man.
He's just a man.
Because even in the
last
one, even in the last hour, he's nowhere to be seen. Besides, he is fighting the Parademons up the
yes,
thing. So
he's rolling
he's
around.
Technically protecting. He's giving cover fire to what is that?
Don't worry about it.
Okay, he's giving cover fire to Flash, who's
You're wrong.
running back and forth.
That's the buzzer. That's the fanboy buzzer going off.
Time's up. He's giving cover fire to the Flash. You know, from the Paradines that are shooting whatever that is. I don't know. I was going to take a drink and I just started ranting, so I'm going to put that down before I spill it. But, yeah, no, he really doesn't do anything, but it didn't bother me.
I feel like he was a little bit more badass in the Whedon cut and BVS. Like, isn't the Justice League's one of their biggest, like, things to take him down, Batman? Like, he knows every single one of their weaknesses and he can exploit them and stuff. I just don't get that from him.
Well, I don't know how much, they haven't said on how much kryptonite he actually has to take down Superman.
But he can take down all of them, from my understanding.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from, but if I may chime in for a second, but not once in BVS did I get the impression that was the kind of Batman I was getting.
He cleaned out a room full of guys.
Yeah, but he doesn't.
Average guys.
Yes, average guys, and even then he had trouble. Like there's a part where they pull on his cape
Didn't he
when
go
he shoots him in the
toe-to-toe
head.
with Superman?
They shot him in the face.
Yeah,
with
but
kryptonite
he
went toe to toe. Yes,
you got to also remember that movie was bad.
I honestly thought you were going to start defending an argument right there.
You know what? You're right. So
we're not going to turn this into that argument.
No. But you could have explained.
I'm going to go ahead and say this. This movie made me realize that I'm okay that Ben Affleck is gone as Batman. And it made me feel even better to know that we will never see that awful Joker ever again.
Even
Or at least the error cut.
Okay.
Did you think differently?
I thought his Jared Leto's Joker in this one was a significant improvement from the entirety that we saw him in Suicide Squad. 100%. The design alone gives him...
When you compare shit next to stinky or shit isn't going to smell as bad.
I thought that scene was great. I've actually seen it a few times.
You really liked it.
I think it was... I think it was really good. The dynamic between the two of them, the fact that...
Before he starts on this rant, I thought it was just okay. I thought the scene.
Don't make me look like a crazy one, Glenn. You fanboy motherfucker.
I thought the scene was just okay.
I
was super hyped when I found out that Mara, Deathstroke, and Joker was going to come back for additional photography, and I found out that it was going to be a nightmare scene photography. I was like, fuck yeah, this is great. I saw it. I could go without it.
Fuck you, Glenn. Fuck you. I think his dialogue and his delivery is great. It's as simple as that.
The dialogue was amazing. I just think he doesn't sound like a great Joker. He doesn't look like a great Joker.
I love the way he sounded in Suicide Squad, regardless of what you guys think on that. I loved his voice in Suicide Squad. In the Snyder cut, I don't know. It was a mixture of different. It was a mixture of different fucking voices, and I was pick fucking one.
That's kind of what I liked about it.
And it was great. And then there was a lot of he started whining, and then he got very deep and serious, and I didn't like it.
So it's the inconsistency in his voice, yet in Suicide. I'm not going down this route. We're talking about Snyder.
No, I know, but in Suicide Squad, I told you my argument. You could defend it by throwing something back at me. Besides being that scene is pointless.
Of course, it's pointless. It's Zack clearly. Zack clearly just put that one in there because he wants to fan the flames to get a sequel even more. Like there's no reason to get that in there otherwise.
Right.
So to say that it's unnecessary is very accurate. Of course it's unnecessary, but I think it's a cool addition. Not to mention, I think Jared Leto. Oh, believe me, anybody who's listened to the pod for long enough. I have trashed Jared Leto on multiple occasions due to his portrayal of Joker in Suicide Squad. Multiple times. Even as a human being. Because he's a fucking bullshit method actor that thinks it excuses being a complete jackass. All of that being said, yeah, I think he did great in this one additional scene. I think he did amazing. Delivery's spot on. I'm just talking in circles at this point.
No, okay, but now the scene in general. Jared Leto, great. The exchange between him and Batman are great. The rest of the scene.
I even like what Batman told him.
You didn't like?
No, when he told him how he talked shit right back to him. I'm saying the dialogue was actually really great. Mm-hmm. I think I just don't like him as the Joker. I think that's all it really comes down to. Because the dialogue, I love Batman's response. When Harley Quinn died in my hands, my arms, the thing she asked was when I kill you.
And believe me, I will fucking kill you. Yeah, it's really dope. It's really cool.
You see, that's the kind of Batman I want.
Yeah, no, totally. I like that.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. I thought Jared Leto did great in this scene. Suicide Squad, all day. But I thought this one was great.
Peter, you're just a fucking hater.
I can't make a depiction on Jared Leto's Joker. We didn't get enough of him in Suicide Squad. It's the same thing. Like I can't give a depiction on fucking.
You can though. You can.
I can't. If we're gonna go that way, I
guess
like what we got.
I guess I don't know if I liked Martian Manhunter then. I didn't get enough of him, so I don't know if I liked him.
Exactly.
He looked kind of ugly.
Thank you.
I think the CGI was crap.
It was.
In Martian Manhunter.
You can tell he was kind of rushed in. You know, he got what, $39 million to do stuff.
70.
That was like 70.
70 million.
That was 1.5 million CGI just for that.
No, 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
And none to Cyborg because that character.
You can have an opinion based on what you're given. That's weird.
Yeah, and then I said on what we're given, I loved him in Suicide Squad.
Oh God, he's.
We're not getting into this conversation. I love.
Yeah,
him
let's
in
stick
Suicide
to the
Squad.
Snyder Cut.
I hated the way he looked in Justice League.
I like Darkseid.
I
didn't mind him. Yeah, he looked pretty cool. I like
What
the way
about
they
his
showed
voice?
his power. They all kind of. It's weird because they took away Batman's deep voice, but then they gave the other two bad guys like deeper voices. What was up with that? They were pretty damn deep, right?
Yeah. Steppenwolf's voice in particular, I feel like they made a lot more raspier and deeper, but it worked.
He actually didn't look bad either, by the way. I like the way he looked.
Okay.
Oh, I said it from the beginning. His new design is a significant improvement than what we got in the theatrical cut. I don't think it's a game changer. I don't think it's a game changer like some people made it sound like when his redesign got released. But it's better. It's great.
No, his original design is significantly better. It's more threatening.
No, not his original design.
That is his original design.
Oh, okay. Trick question.
Gotcha
journalism. He did it again.
I'm just saying. Yeah. No, but the voice, Darkseid, Ray Porter. I think he said that he was trying to mimic Frank Welker.
I don't know who that is.
He's the voice of Darkseid from the animated series. I don't remember which one.
Nice,
and from Megatron, which a lot of people had issues with. That's why I asked you about his voice. If you guys were going to have issues. That he sounded very Megatron-ish from like the new
I've never been into Transformers.
Same.
Okay, that's why I said I wanted to throw it out there.
I thought his design was cool. His voice was cool. His presence was very powerful.
They showed his eye laser things.
Yeah, they
That
showed
made
his
me
Omega
go, "What?"
beams.
When he killed Aquaman.
How cool was that, by the way?
Oh, I love this. I love that whole fucking thing, and I want it.
So speaking of which, we're jumping all over the place with this.
It's okay.
As is standard with any of our podcasts,
Yes.
really. But that scene leading up to Superman's resurrection in this version, despite the fact that I knew exactly how it was going to go, it was actually tense.
Yes.
I actually found myself like my heart racing a bit, just like leading up to it with the countdown, with the robot ship being like, yeah, you can't undo this. Don't do this.
That was great.
Yeah.
3, don't do it. Back the fuck out. 2,
Yeah.
y'all fucked up. What?
Yeah.
This is not reversible.
and it all just culminates in that premonition that Cyborg has, where he just sees Wonder Woman dead burning on a pyre.
That's so cool.
He sees. What did he chokes out Aquaman?
No, Aquaman got stabbed by his trident.
That's right.
And then he got the eye.
The Omega beams, and then fucking
Lois
Superman
and
holding.
Do those things kill Superman in the comics?
the Omega beams?
Can they hurt him, or does it still bounce?
It hurts him, but it doesn't kill him.
Like
He's gonna
hurts him. Like he's like
Yeah, because
like,
everybody
ow.
else, turns into a skeleton, but he's gotten hit by him and just gotten hurt.
Can anybody else survive them besides? Superman?
No, but in Justice League War, in comic and in the movie, they Flash outruns them, and if it hits somebody else or it hits something else, it depletes. I don't know because in this
What do you
one,
mean depletes?
it stops right there. Like if John shoots Omega beams and it comes for me and it hits you,
It won't.
I could use you as a shield.
And it won't
stop
kill.
it.
So
okay.
it has a target and it has to kill the target.
Yes.
That
Okay.
makes sense. Okay, cool. Thank you for the nerd facts.
Yeah, totally.
Kind of silenced the room a little bit. Shit. Makes sense. So there is a weakness. That's what I hear.
That was the first victory in years that I've had. Jesus Christ, I don't know. Look at these. Look at these.
Quit while you're ahead.
What were we talking about?
So many things.
Oh, the
4 hours
countdown.
was the thing.
The countdown and
there's the ship said, I'm sorry, I fucking have a stutter. I developed this in the last month. It's stupid.
Have another beer.
I know. The ship said as soon as it hit 0 and as soon as the Flash did his touch thing.
Mm-hmm.
Did you hear what the ship said?
I don't.
The future is now in the past, or the future is now present, or something. So everything that Ray's seen is now going to be fruition per the ship.
Okay, that's a little stupid. How the fuck does the ship know that?
If the ship showed them what could be,
What
this
could be?
Yeah, it's all could be.
So then, how would the ship know? This is a nitpicky thing, but since you brought it up, yeah, that sounds dumb.
Let me add it to the list.
I love it because I was like, holy fuck, that's, this is what could be, everything that he's seeing. I mean, I don't know if John's seen the storyboards and everything, but everything.
We'll talk about that.
Everything that happened in Cyborg's flashback or premonition comes to fruition.
Okay, well, I'll have this lead in to something else that I very much enjoyed. It didn't go the way I thought it was, but when the Unity actually synchronized and we got like the big explosion, for a second I thought, oh, we're actually doing this. They're about to lose, and we're going to get the nightmare world for the next 30 minutes or whatever the time, the runtime is that's left. Didn't quite go the way that way. It was really cool nonetheless. But yeah, that's kind of what I thought it was going. I was like, oh, so they're going to lose and we're going to see the future that Batman and Cyborg and all of them were seeing. Like, that's pretty cool. But because it didn't go that way, like, doesn't that exact, like, point to the contrary, that the future isn't really set in stone?
Yeah, but...
And also, again, why would the ship know that? If time,
it was probably just a premonition of the ship. This is a warning of what could happen. And
here's the other thing. This is the big... I was hoping for an answer by the end of the movie, because this was the question I had from the very start, is Superman's death activated the mother boxes. Superman's only been there for what, like 20 years maybe?
Yes.
Why couldn't they activate before Superman showed up? And how did they know?
I don't know. That's a good fucking question, because they've established in the movie that it didn't activate because it was afraid of Superman. Mm-hmm. But if he was only there until, for a few, 30 years or whatever.
However long he's been there, yeah.
Before they said that, because that was like a guess from Wonder Woman, right? And Batman or some shit like that?
Yeah.
Somebody says it.
Yes.
That, because they were scared or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it was just the screams woke them up. Maybe they were never scared. It's just the scream was so powerful that it woke one up. This is what I thought before they gave their dumbass theory, like a minute later.
That's exactly what I was going to follow up on, sorry, Peter. In the watch party for BVS that Zack did last year, he did say that Superman's death is what activated the first mother box.
Mm-hmm. That's what I thought.
Yeah. The first one that hit Themyscira,
mm-hmm.
That's what actually called Steppenwolf to this location.
Okay.
And then go on for on and so forth.
Why did Darkseid wait so long to go back to Earth?
They kind of talk about it in this movie, where it's in a throwaway line, like towards the end of that flashback scene, where after he gets fucked up pretty easily, I might add, where they say that they kind of just. It's kind of dumb. They basically say they forgot about Earth. They're like, they forgot that Earth...
The one planet that beat him.
Yeah, pretty much. It's not...
He knows their legacy. You have old gods in you. And
they didn't forget about it. They forgot the location of it, which is why Stefan was, I found it.
Again, which is... You would think that the one place that... it doesn't really...
That was badass, by the way. Seeing him get his ass kicked.
No, it was. It certainly was.
You should have aimed for the head.
Oh, yeah. I didn't think of... Yeah, pretty much. You should have aimed...
Different rabbit hole. Different conversation.
Not
getting into
Marvel
this.
Stole from DC.
Not getting into that conversation in this episode.
But
that's going to be a great conversation.
Because it's bullshit.
It is 100% bullshit. Anyways. Great scene.
Yeah.
Love that he got his ass beat.
But yeah, that's what I got. That's that they just kind of forgot. They're just like, oh, well, he was dying, and so they took him and they left and they forgot where it was. It's not the best explanation, but it's the one we're given.
Yeah, I mean, he has been looking for it. He says that Steppenwolf has conquered many worlds, and he even Desaad told him that you need 50,000 more to even redeem yourself, to even get a chance to redeem yourself.
Mm-hmm.
How did he betray him? Did they say how that happened?
They didn't say it, but it's, I believe,
kind of bad riding.
Yeah, I believe it's he ran away from a battle that he was going to lose. Essentially, I think he was actually supposed to be in the history lesson, and it was him retreating. That was in that ship that blew up.
Okay.
That was supposed to be supposedly him retreating before Darkseid even, near death. So that was his banishment.
What blew up that ship, by the way?
It was the arrow of a god. And I think it was Artemis.
A god, okay. I was like, wait, the Amazonians...
There was 4 gods that fought on there. It was some big-ass head
Zeus,
guy.
Ares, I don't know.
Artemis.
Which makes sense because they refer to him all the time in her movies, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Artemis, and there was some other god that was with him, and I don't know who that was.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah. So yeah.
Good stuff.
Notes.
Fuck. I skipped over a bunch.
We'll find out the ones that are great.
Oh, kind of going into... tying directly into what we said. Lantern went out like a bitch. And then in the next line, so did Darkseid. Kind of went out like a bitch in that flashback scene.
He got stabbed in the neck.
I got chopped in the neck.
It was badass.
Well,
Lantern did not go out like a bitch.
It seemed Lantern went out like a... I mean, he put up more of a fight in this one than he did in the theatrical release.
He jumped up, hit a couple parademons, shot Uxas. I'm going to call him by his name at that time.
Sure.
Yeah, Uxas. And then gets backhanded and then stabbed in the face.
He must have been a bitch because Steppenwolf even refers to like the lanterns when he says
no
Earth
lanterns,
is unprotected.
No Kryptonians.
Like he specifically said lanterns, so they must be scary. We know they are.
Mm-hmm.
So that
Which
guy
is weird too because they showed the same lantern in Cyborg's vision.
Yeah, I know. It
was the same
thing.
exact lantern, or I could be
I
mistaken.
thought it was 2 different ones.
I mean, it could be another alien, similar looking.
Yeah, it could have. But
yeah.
I guess. I don't know. I don't think he went like a bitch.
Darkseid, I don't think so. Or Green Lantern.
Well, Green Lantern, I think certainly
Green Lantern did. Fuck yeah, he did.
Darkseid, I just think because even in that flashback, they're talking about him like he's this because he is. He's like a conqueror. He's something to be feared. Like he's something known throughout the universe. And in that aspect, kind of looks like he got defeated a little too easily.
Yeah, but
he was on a planet with gods.
This was
and Amazonians.
This is pre-God Darkseid. This is before he joined the New Gods. It's not stated, and it's stupid.
No, that's not the part that bothers me. They built him up in this flashback to be like a force to be reckoned with, and immediately after they're just like, well, he gets defeated because he got an axe thrown at him or whatever.
Well, they didn't say this is the first planet that actually faced him. All the other planets he just conquered. This is the first one that
he went through that Freezer training, basically.
Yeah,
Freezer never been trained. He got his ass kicked by Goku. He came back gold.
Okay.
This is the first one that actually.
Thank you, John.
Stood up to him.
Thank you, John.
That makes sense.
That makes sense.
Okay, are good.
I respect that.
I don't remember exactly what scene happens after that. But my next note is, I get it now. All the Justice League members get a song.
That goes back to what I said. There's too much fucking music.
Yep.
There was like 2 hours of build-up in this movie. Yeah. And then everybody did get it. In that build-up, everybody did do something, and they all got their own theme. So I think that's what it was. It was probably halfway mark. Based off of your notes, like the history lesson's about an hour in. An hour and change, and then your next one is there's too much, so you didn't have any complaints.
There's moments where I literally get lost in the movie and I forget to write stuff down because again, there's new stuff in here that are genuinely good.
I think there's a lot of good. I think there's about a good 2.5 hours greatness in this movie. That's the problem here. Again, my biggest gripe with this movie is it's too
fucking long.
There is a lot of amazing.
By fucking
It
does not go by quick.
It does not. When
not.
I can cook a dinner, masturbate, poop, and that movie's still rolling, it's pretty long. It's pretty long.
He's not lying. I made myself breakfast. I took a shower. I was even doing laundry watching this the second time. Finished my laundry too. And I was still only halfway done.
It's too long.
Anyways, what's the next one?
I'm crossing out a lot of nitpicky stuff.
Throw a nitpick out while we get into the final one.
They're not even nitpicks. They're just funny things I noticed.
Okay, throw one out so we can discuss it while we're waiting for the next
They're
one.
not even... after Cyborg... that scene after Cyborg helps that Mexican lady out, which, by the way... I told Glenn this already. I feel more for that Mexican lady, that character that we learn about and see a whole arc within the...
She's the only one that made me feel, yeah.
I feel more for her than I do for any character in Batman vs. Superman.
Or this movie.
Fuck, you might be right.
No, I am. What character do you feel for? The groupie? I mean... Look at him. He's thinking.
It wasn't easily implied while we're waiting for Peter to finish crossing things out while he gets distracted and we have another pause moment. But I don't know if this was implied, but there was a scene where he is talking to some girl before he got into his accident. It was right before his football scene. He was talking to, I want to say his girlfriend and stuff like that. And then his accident happened and then he started kind of...
It was his mom.
No, I understand it was his mom, but it was another one that he was telling his mom, I guess, about a girl before the accident. And then he got into the accident, and then that's the tape recorder that his dad was like, you could do whatever you want. You are literally God in this technology age.
Which ties into my next note, which I'll bring up in a second.
Yeah, and then that goes into the whole, he basically stole money.
So is that supposed to be her, the girl he was crushing on?
I think
that has a child already.
I think so because his dad tells him you could control whatever you want in here, and he kind of looks her up. That's like it's not. I don't want to think it's a random fucking person. He's like, oh look,
That's kind of what I got out of it. I mean, I saw him scanning.
I thought it was a random person.
Yeah, too. I thought it was a random. I mean, I'm not saying you're wrong, but it's not something that I picked up on at all.
Yeah, I wish they would just clarify on what's her importance. If it is the girl that he was talking to with his mom, then that's great. But I kind of wish there was kind of more implied because that was a high school, and now a couple years later, I don't know what's the time length on here.
Yeah,
I want to
really
say. I mean, the time length between BVS and Justice League is 6 months and change.
Okay.
But did his accident happen within that 6 months? So that's his girlfriend who got pregnant and then is working a dead end job. But I want clarity on that.
Okay. I don't. Movie's long enough.
Thank you, Peter. Amen to that.
But going off of Cyborg, one of my notes was Miles Dyson makes another Skynet. Which he basically does. He made another... If you're not aware, the character who plays Cyborg's father is also the character... He is also the same person who plays the guy who creates Skynet in Terminator 2.
Yeah.
And there's a moment in this movie where he says you can control anything, even nuclear codes or whatever. You can launch all the missiles at once. And I'm like, oh my God, he did it again. He didn't learn.
So is that a good note or a bad note?
This is just an observation. Crossing that one out.
It's one of those. What is it? What is the rainbow things that happens in SpongeBob? The more you know.
The more you know.
Is that what it is?
No, you're thinking imagination.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're thinking of Family Guy.
Am I thinking Family Guy?
Yeah, there's an episode at the end where it's the more you know.
Okay, my bad. But still, it's the more you know.
I lost my spot.
But okay, while Peter looks for his spot, there is the son of a bitch. Sorry, there was a scene when he dies. I thought he was gonna do that whole T2 death again. I was like, this is how he's destined to go down.
He was obliterated.
Yeah.
Both times.
You think it was a painful
both
death?
Times, right?
This one seemed pretty sure in T2 it wasn't painful, probably quick. This one it looked like it must have been painful. He didn't react, but just
He stood there. His clothes started to burn. There was his skin started to crawl, or
like peel almost.
peel off.
Yeah.
Blood started going from his nose and stuff, and then it was just next thing gone. You see his skeleton for a second, and then it just collapses. Yeah, he goes out the same way. I think in 2-2 he has a grenade.
Something like that. It's like a C4 or something. Yeah.
Yeah. So he goes out the same way. I just wanted that, breathing.
Oh. Why? Okay, what was the deal? This was weird. What was the deal when they were going into to find the hostages, and we had to dedicate a scene to them, to how each one of them can hop over the gap?
This was their first instance together when one room was straight up, we do this together, and then Flash was like, "Fuck you," and then they even look at each other like, "Fine," one after another.
It seemed out of place to me.
Yeah. I don't know what scene you're talking about. There's 4 fucking hours of What chapter, bro?
This was the first fight with Steppenwolf.
And my next note immediately under that, just real quick, is even more chanting.
Yeah. Every scene that Wonder Woman has every scene that Wonder Woman has a badass moment.
She gets that chant by that fucking Gregorian chant.
Like we said,
right out of the film.
Like we said an hour ago. I don't know how long ago it was. It was great when it first went because it transitioned into her guitar theme, but then they just drop it, and I hate it. I said I wasn't going to talk about it, so let's not bring it up again.
Just bring it up again, though.
It's awful. It is. It was great. And then overused it because there wasn't. Anyways,
they don't even. It's not even just in her scenes. In a lot of scenes where they show Amazonians, at least in the early part of the movie, they show
Amazonians. They actually got their own theme. I loved it.
I respect. It sounded very similar.
It was similar.
He's just saying he thought it was meant for them.
Okay,
right?
I did. I thought it was meant for
them,
which
would have made more fucking sense.
And then they used it with her, and I'm like, okay, she is an Amazon. And then she gets her own theme because they transitioned the first time they used it, but then they dropped her transition and they just went to the Amazon.
And it's still going. Do you hear many times I said again?
It's 4 hours worth of agains.
It is. It's my biggest gripe with the movie, and it's unforgivable for me. And I hate it so much. I hate it. I really do.
It's
Junkie, I don't know what you were thinking. I don't know why people think it's amazing. The whole score, without thinking of the timeline and overthink, just the score in general is great. But that theme being overused, I hate it so much.
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
You're certainly not. It takes you out of the movie. It certainly.
That's what I've been fucking saying.
No, I'm agreeing with you.
I am agreeing with you too.
Every single time.
Now Glenn agrees.
I've agreed an hour ago.
You actually said it though. I agree with you.
I said how much I hate it an hour ago.
I thought we were talking about the whole.
Oh no, I love the whole thing in general.
It's an improvement. It's great. I guess we're jumping ahead here a little bit.
I think we've already jumped everywhere.
That's true. Overall, I very much like this movie.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't think it's a masterpiece. It is far from perfect. And one of the imperfections is that how much they fucking use that damn song on top of its length.
Yes.
And the fact that that length could be cut down significantly.
About an hour and a half. It's an easy hour and a half.
Like, there are unnecessary scenes or scenes that drag too long. Like, there's ways you can cut it down.
3 acts, not 7.
Fuck. I think it was spaced out perfectly. I enjoyed the 4 hours for what it's worth. I think a group superhero movie should be this long.
4 fucking hours?
I believe it should
I think I can name one other group superhero movie that did it way better. The X-Men.
That was 4 hours?
Not 4 hours, but he said he thinks all superhero movies should be that long.
No, not all group superhero movies. Avenger movies, X-Men movies.
Those are not 4 hours.
I know, but
X-Men First Class is pretty amazing. It is nowhere near 4 hours.
It's actually...
In fact, I think it's under 2.
I think so too. God damn it. Fox.
Yeah, Fox.
Yeah. Never gonna get him again.
Never.
Yeah. Anyways, overall
what?
We interrupted you when you were...
I don't remember what the fuck I was saying.
You were saying overall you think this movie...
Overall, yeah, I think it's
not
great.
a masterpiece,
it's
especially
not.
with the theme. And then we enter.
It's far from being a masterpiece, but it's great. Overall, I very much enjoy this. It's an improvement from the theatrical cut, but by a large margin.
About 4 hours.
About 4 hours. But it's so fucking long. So long.
You overall?
I think it's great. I think if I was to watch it again, I'm definitely going to fast forward through a lot of pointless bullshit.
I think I would too, honestly. Yeah. I do the same thing with Endgame. Like, I mean, I enjoyed Endgame, but
Endgame
mostly,
is a little boring too.
That's what I mean. Yeah. There's a lot of shit. Like when I rewatch Endgame, I'll usually skip to the cool battle climactic scene at the end.
I don't even think it's that great. I think it's good. I mean,
Infinity War is a better movie. For overall.
Okay, yes, I'm comparing the two. Endgame is good.
Like Infinity War, I can watch from start to finish and not get bored. Endgame, there's a lot of parts I could skip, and I feel the same way for this movie. I will skip virtually half the movie before I get to the good part for the Snyder Cut. About an hour and a half. 2.5 hours. That's the sweet spot.
Okay. Infinity Wars used to be my favorite comic book movie
until this long and old.
Yeah. But I'm not saying I'm not trashing on Infinity Wars. I fucking love that movie. I watched it the other day. I watched it before Zack Snyders. I watched it Wednesday night. I forgot when. Wednesday or Tuesday. Mm-hmm. Tuesday or Wednesday. I watched it, and I once again, like you said, I didn't get bored of it. I love that movie. Mm-hmm. I think I love this one more, but it might be because I am biased. Like I said in the very beginning, I am biased on it.
You heard it. You heard them, people. You heard them, everybody.
Yeah. So take my word for what it's worth. But I'm biased. I loved it. I posted it on Twitter or Instagram. I give this a 9 out of 10. It's the same score I gave Infinity War. Okay. And if it wasn't for Wonder Woman's theme, I would have.
Bro,
it's so bizarre that is the one
don't
problem.
Even cross that line. Don't say it was 10 out of 10 if you remember.
That is the one problem.
I wasn't gonna say that. I wasn't gonna say 10 out of 10. 11 out of 10. I'm just fucking with you guys. I'm just fucking.
I was gonna kick you out of this right now.
No. I really was fucking with you guys. No, if it's more than that. It's the CGI. It's that theme. I agree with you on the
bullshit that's coming out of your mouth.
There's a lot of bullshit that's coming out of my mouth. There's a lot more that's coming out of y'all mouths. A lot more. But the overuse of music composing?
Sure. Just the score.
The score, thank you.
Yeah.
The overuse of the score, there was some things where I'm like, okay, if you mellow this one down a little bit, it would have.
Yeah, I'm not even saying remove it. Just
tone it
down a little bit.
It would have hit the impact a little bit more. There are issues that I have with this movie, and I tweeted it out already and everything, but I give it the same score as Infinity Wars.
Okay,
9 out of 10 for me. It's the same score for me.
It seriously bugs me that your only main issue is that fucking music.
I just said there's CGI issues with that. Every scene that Cyborg is in, that he's the main.
I chose not to hear that though. I only heard.
I think the thing that bothers me is that you're okay with the length.
Yeah, it's so.
I'm fine with the length. I have no problem with the length. I've watched this movie twice.
It does not
within
fly by.
a 5-hour sleep span.
Let me say
so
this.
4 hours, 5 hours, and then 4 hours.
When I was watching it with Yvonne yesterday, it did fly by. And then I paused and I saw it was only an hour and a half in. And I saw he still had another 2.5 fucking hours. And I was like, okay.
Everybody that I have talked to does have an issue with the time because they do pause it and stuff like that. And I think that is the problem.
It had nothing to do with me pausing it.
No, it didn't. No, I paused it to see how far along we were, not because I was pausing it. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, this is going so fast. Oh.
The movie flies with me.
You're insane, Glenn. You're insane.
I even downloaded it on my phone.
Jesus Christ.
Dang, probably took up most of your memory. 4 hours worth of movie.
Thank you, Cloud.
You're insane, Glenn. Oh God.
So back to my question, if we're wrapping up right now.
I wasn't quite. There was a couple. We're mostly done, but yeah go on.
Okay. Which DC film is better than this? God, you both said that there was a DC film that was better than this one.
I did?
Yes.
Well, you said it was the best DC film, and we both kind of questioned you a bit.
questioning means there's another DC film that's
Well,
better than this.
I hadn't thought about it. Is what all it was. I wasn't ready to fully commit to this being the best one, especially because whenever something's new, you kind of tend, whether it's intentional or not, usually it isn't. You kind of get caught up in the hype and the excitement. I remember when I came out of seeing Captain Marvel, I actually enjoyed it a lot.
I didn't.
After months of sitting on it, I have realized that that's not a good movie.
It only took me the one time to realize that.
I legitimately was looking forward to that movie and I fell asleep.
So was I.
As
I
was
thought the
I.
movie was boring as fuck.
And I enjoyed it very much the first time.
Anyways,
and
but
now I
still,
think it sucks.
So, are we going to loop back to this question?
I
I'll loop back to
think
this
it's
question.
too early to say. I honestly think it's too early to say.
Can I say this? This will be my thing is, I've only seen all of the movies once because they're all pretty awful.
I've rewatched pretty much all the DC.
But I've heard Doom
point.
Squad's pretty good, so I'm gonna say Doom Squad.
Doom Squad is amazing. You know what the best DC property that you can see right now is the Harley Quinn animated series. That show is fucking hilarious. It is great.
You're the only one I've heard that from.
It's
I've
so
heard
fucking
it. I've
good.
actually heard it
It's
from
so funny. There's so many like little. It's kind of like Lego Batman. You know how like it's kind of a kid movie, but there's so many like little jokes about the lore of Batman as a whole that it's just if you're a nerd, you'll fucking love that movie. It's like that. Nice. There's so many just little character moments and it's amazing. That is hands down. I know that's not your question. We kind of sidestepped it a little bit, actually entirely.
God, is it Superman?
You're thinking about it?
Yeah, I haven't stopped thinking about it since you asked. I think it might be Superman.
Well, because you guys didn't say it wasn't the best one, but you both questioned
so,
it, which means that it isn't.
Well, okay, your question, when you initially said it, your words specifically were best DC movie. Are we talking about the DCEU? Or are we talking about DC in general? Because I still hold that The Dark Knight is probably the best DC movie.
Oh, shit, he's right. Dark Knight. 100%. Sorry, I forgot about that. R.I.P. Heath Ledger.
DCEU.
Okay, so DCEU. Okay, so we're narrowing it down to movies
no,
that
none
aren't
of
as
them.
good.
I'd rather just poke my eyes out. Yeah, Superman, I guess. I mean...
Man of Steel?
You're telling me, what are my options? Suicide Squad, BVS...
Shazam,
Man of Steel,
Aquaman.
BVS.
Oh, Shazam's actually not bad, but...
Wonder Woman. See, it's hard. My gut reaction...
Wonder Woman 1's good, too. Yeah.
Wonder Woman is pretty good. My first reaction is to say Shazam because that movie just hit me on an emotional level that I can't fully explain. That being said, I don't think it's as good as a movie as this one. They're just different. It's really hard to compare the two.
If you put a list down, what would be number?
Well,
let's go from the bottom.
Oh God, here we go.
If we're gonna do this, we could go from the bottom.
Are we really about to rank the DCEU
Wait,
movies?
we could do that once we're done talking about this fucking 4-hour movie.
Okay. That's fair, and then I'll...
we can rank it really quick. There's not very many.
Okay, there is one other thing I want to say.
Bring it up.
Fuck you, Glen.
Post Manhunter was totally pointless.
100% agree.
Yes.
It's fan service as fuck. He didn't need to be here. He served no purpose. Yeah. The post-credit scene makes me laugh just because Bruce Wayne looks as annoyed as I am. He's like, he just woke up from a nap and he's like, who are you? Why are you talking to me right now?
Bro, you're green.
Yeah. And even in the middle of the movie, I gotta say, I have it here in my notes. Right after the anti-life equation, it says in all caps, "Wait, what the fuck? Oh shit, it's Martian Manhunter." I got hype when he just kind of came out of nowhere, but then he does nothing and only shows up at the end to be like, "Hi, I was here." Like he did no purpose.
He did a Batman when Superman came back to life. He just kind of came out of the truck.
Yeah,
I
pretty
contributed,
much.
guys.
Yeah. That I don't know. That bothers me tremendously. Like it's such a ham-fisted.
It's fan service.
It really is.
It's like Howard the Duck right at the very end. It's just fan service.
Yeah, I don't know. It bothered me. Anyway,
there are some things that Zach said, and I told you about this already. Mm-hmm. That it's once again studio involvement, and I don't know how far back this goes to studio involvement, but Martian Manhunter wasn't. I don't think he was originally supposed to be in there.
Mm-hmm.
But he did an interview. I want to say it's with Variety. He says we shot a version of this scene, and I don't know what scene he's actually talking about with Green Lantern. But the studio really fought me and said, we don't want you to do a Green Lantern. So I made a deal with them, and they let me do this instead.
Okay.
And it's referring to the Martian Manhunter.
Okay.
And it says, initially the filmmakers said, Warner Brothers insisted this edition. They didn't want me to suggest more films to come. They wanted me to Sack, I don't even know how to pronounce that, it as much as I could. Basically, they wanted us dead.
Dang, Glenn came in here with this whole thing prepared. He was ready. He was ready like Batman going over that mountain looking for Aquaman.
He said, I'm like, look, that's not the genre. It's not the comic book genre to end the story, regardless if we ever make another one or not. So he ended it in very speculations on there. Yeah, here's what this is. You could take it or you could just leave it dead in the water type of thing. Snyder suggested regret that the studio prevented him from showing Stewart on the screen for the first time. They were like, we have plans for John Stewart and we want to do our own announcement. Yeah. So I said, all right.
Makes sense. That makes sense.
So Martian Manhunter was the compromise.
Well, and Aquaman, The Flash, Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman was BVS. He basically got all of them, right, before anybody else did?
What do you mean?
There wasn't an Aquaman movie until Justice League. There still isn't a Flash
He introduced
movie.
them.
He introduced them, but it wasn't his.
Right. So I'm basically saying the studio probably told him, we are already letting you introduce 4 of these motherfuckers. We're not going to give you the entire lineup.
But in a Justice League movie and not do introducing right then and there? This is Justice League.
So they could make it a 5-hour movie?
Well, then what he's saying is that the Martian Manhunter part could have been a
Green Lantern. Just the pointless part to just add to Peter's list. Instead of mentioning...
Like he said, it couldn't lead to anywhere. That's what it is. If you could take it and run with it, or you could just leave it dead in the water.
He should have just not included anything at that point. Like, just
Thank you.
don't...
And the movie could have ended, an hour and a half before. The 3 endings drove me crazy.
It's no secret that studio involvement is a problem every director has to fight with. That's it's gonna happen. But if they had so much pushback on him introducing it was Hal Jordan Green Lantern, John Stewart. Okay, then I don't see why he needed to introduce any character. It seems so out of place.
He also went into detail on that scene.
What do you mean?
He went into detail in a live interview, in a different one, a follow-up question basically to that, on the Green Lantern scene. It actually would have been a lot better. I would have replaced any 30-minute scene.
Does he have any place in the story? Like, does he actually show up in the final battle or anything?
No,
because you're already...
It would have been followed up to the second Justice League movie, which has lanterns in it.
Then it's dumb.
Yeah.
Then I disagree. Then I say don't include it. You're already introducing 2 characters in this movie. In the culmination movie, you're already introducing Cyborg and the Flash. You're tasked with giving them backstories and emotional stakes, and as well as story arcs. That's already too much.
But that's what was supposed to be cut from his movie. There was originally a Cyborg movie and a Flash movie that was going to follow Justice League. That was going to be involved their backstory. They weren't going to have any backstory, which is why you don't get any backstory with Aquaman. You get backstory in here because supposedly those movies.
You get a little bit of backstory from Aquaman. He hates his people,
but you don't get a setup. You don't get a depth.
No,
but you do get that for a little bit from Flash, but a lot from Cyborg.
Yeah. But he was supposed to.
We went from having no Cyborg in one movie to a shitload of
Cyborg.
Which I'm not complaining about.
And I think the movie's better for it. Yeah, but there's just, again, the overall length is the issue, and there's other places you can trim down.
Once again, this is his compromise to not getting paid for the Snyder Cut film that's out now. He's getting no money for this.
I'm sure he got paid when
he gave up money to have no studio involvement.
The second time around.
Okay. This time around. The first time around, yes, he got paid.
And yet he added Martian Manhunter?
Yes.
Because
that was the original compromise.
But
that was the original compromise.
You have to compromise, you just have to say fuck it and don't do it.
But like his original compromise was supposed to be a 2-hour and 14-minute movie.
There's an old saying called addition by subtraction. I think this movie would be better without the Martian Manhunter cameo.
It'd save us about 10 minutes, yeah.
Among other things. Among just having a pointless character here.
Well, I don't like that Martian Manhunter scene. Are we talking about the one in the...
Both of them.
Both
of them.
But the first one, the first scene when he's talking with Lois, it doesn't make any sense to me.
And it serves no purpose.
It doesn't. It doesn't make any sense to me because there's no follow-up to it. The second one...
And that's my problem. There is no follow-up. Yeah. That's the problem. You just introduce a character and then...
But like I said, this was his original compromise. That scene could have been non-Martian Manhunter.
I think this all stems from the issue that you started with a superhero group movie instead of building them up, 10 years. Just saying.
It really does. Honestly.
You have to cram so much into a movie to get you familiar with these characters. And
so I would have completely agreed with you prior to this release. Aquaman is the person that comes to mind because in the theatrical version, I don't feel jack shit for Aquaman, and he's kind of a douchebag.
Right.
In this one, despite the fact that we don't have a movie, we don't have a whole lot of setup for him, I still feel more for him. I get a sense of his personality, and I get a sense of his motivations, and that's enough for me to accept him as a member of the Justice League. The same cannot be said for a character that is introduced ham-fistedly and then doesn't show up again until the movie's over. It serves no purpose.
Yeah, Martian Manhunter doesn't serve any purpose, but like I said, original compromise, Martian Manhunter was going to be in a Justice League movie, just wasn't supposed to be in this one.
I don't think
compromise, Green Lantern.
I don't think that excuses his involvement in this. I don't think that excuses him being in this movie.
It's literally an oh shit moment. He serves no purpose.
And it got me. I already said it. It got me when when her eyes started glowing red and she turned green. I was like, holy shit, it's fucking Martian Manhunter.
Yeah, that's it.
But there's no payoff.
All it serves is an oh shit moment.
It's stupid.
That's all it is.
Yeah. It's stupid.
That's all it is. It's like John said, the Howard the Duck. Oh look, it's Howard the Duck and nothing.
Yep.
Yeah, but at least with Howard the Duck, you don't expect him to show up at the end and have a major part in the plot. But this is Martian Manhunter.
If he would have showed up, you would have had a different point of view, I believe.
What?
If he showed up at the end of Guardians, right? He shows up.
I would say it's stupid. It's fucking Howard the Duck. Who gives a shit?
I think you would have a different point of view. I honestly believe that, but we can't do that because he doesn't do anything. He's just, oh look, there's Howard.
You're comparing Martian Manhunter to Howard the Duck.
Who was only in there for about 10 seconds.
Yeah, and didn't have a whole scene dedicated to him.
So he had a whole scene dedicated. What are you talking about?
Howard the Duck?
Oh wait, no, he didn't.
No.
I just recently watched those
He was
movies.
just there in the kind of...
Yeah. So this is a mess. I don't remember what he says. And then he has a scene in Guardians too.
Yes, he does. Where he's talking to a robot prostitute or something. I don't remember.
Which is funny as fuck. Anyway,
which that movie was pretty awful. So.
But yeah, there's no payoff to Martian Manhunter. And honestly, I don't know why they added him. There isn't any payoff. It would have been fine if he would have showed up in Justice League 2. But that's not what I'm saying. It's the original compromise. So we can't have Green Lantern. Fine. I'll introduce Martian Manhunter because he was supposed to be in here anyways. Not in the movie, but eventually in the movies.
I think the compromise should have been, okay, I guess I won't introduce anybody for
I think the
no
oh
reason.
shit moment is pointless, but I
already got 4 endings. I mean, maybe not add this one.
All right, we're kind of talking circles at this point.
I'm not
gonna change your mind. You're not gonna change mine. Let's just agree to disagree.
And I'm not trying to change anybody's mind.
No, you shouldn't.
Yeah.
No, I'm trying to change it. No, I'm just kidding.
No, I know you're trying to change.
No, I'm just trying to understand. I'm just trying to understand. I don't fully understand. You keep coming back to him being the original compromise, but it doesn't change the problem I have with the movie. He's still in there for no reason.
Yeah, he's
compromise or not.
Oh shit! Yes, we're agreeing.
Okay, we're talking in circles at this point.
Yes.
There's cool character moments in this movie. I like the interaction between Aquaman and Wonder Woman, how they're talking about their people's histories and whatnot.
It's not bad.
There's some moments with the Flash and Cyborg that they kind of have moments like that too. I can't name all of them. I didn't write all of them down, but I do love. There's a lot of that in this one that the original didn't have. The theatrical one is just it very much. I was telling Glenn this earlier. It feels like when they gave the reins to Joss Whedon, they told him look, we need you to make this a watchable movie, but get rid of all the shit that sets up for potential sequels.
Okay.
it kind of feels like that's the movie we were given. Yeah, and it's, I mean, we all
know how that turned out.
Yeah. I don't think anybody, it wasn't the worst movie, but I don't think any of us pretend like the theatrical version was great. I don't think there's anybody that pretends it was a good movie.
That's an awful movie.
It's not, it's not
it's
very
not
good.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's another positive. One of
much room for hate.
So much room for hate. Okay, how about some speculation at this point? So, Lois might be pregnant with Superman's baby.
Right. Saw that.
Batman's baby.
Slut. Right.
Maybe Batman's baby. John, you haven't heard about the storyboards, have you?
No.
I'll let Glenn take over for here. So, spoiler alert, potential spoiler alert for the sequels to Justice League.
But I think if they go through with it, because there's a whole new campaign of Restore the Snyderverse.
Of course.
Yes.
There's a whole new campaign.
We're done with the first thing.
And I love the plot of Justice League 2 and 3. I hate the fine details of Justice League 2 and 3. Justice League 2 and 3, Lois is pregnant with Bruce's baby.
Why?
Exactly. Exactly. I don't know why. Superman.
There's gonna be problems with Superman.
Superman finds out and he's okay with it.
Didn't he destroy a planet because the bitch was dead? She sucked another man's penis and he's fine. Is she fine with it? I mean,
it starts off with fucking Lex Luthor finding Dr. Poison. I don't remember her name that they used.
I think it's Dr. Poison.
No, I know it's her name, but he used another one. I'm not gonna scroll through this. I have it open for just bullet points.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah. He finds Dr. Poison. He convinces her to join his team. She eventually kills. She's the one that kills Wonder Woman.
Oh, okay.
In Justice League.
That's cool. Full circle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. She also kills a lot of Amazons, anyways. And he finds the Riddler, who is supposed to be one of the main villains in Ben Affleck's Batman. And Leonard Snark, Captain Cold.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Captain Cold, who was supposed to be the villain in the Flash movie that got canceled.
Or postponed indefinitely.
It got canceled. They're making a Flashpoint movie, so it's essentially canceled.
Wasn't it always Flashpoint?
No.
I'll believe you.
Depends on the director and writer.
Yeah. The very first one, it wasn't Flashpoint. The second one, it was kind of a Flashpoint one. And then this one's, I think, more of a multiverse one.
Okay.
Anyways. And so they do a whole league and everything. Lex is looking for... He finds the anti-life equation. I don't even know how he finds it because I didn't know it was a physical thing.
I'm very curious to see how they... Yeah, because in the comic books, it still very much is like a hypothetical thing. They don't really go into detail as to what exactly the anti-life equation is.
Yeah. Well, they explain on what it is. It's killing the thing that somebody loves the most. Jesus Christ, Glenn. Get it together.
Okay.
And... destroying it and basically breaking their will, and when they're broken, mind controlling them. So there's no way to fight back. Eventually you could get over somebody's death, but the initial point of their death is when you're the broken the most, which is why in the scene of in Justice League, the scene where Darkseid puts his hand on Superman's shoulder was Superman going into the anti-life equation. So
okay, some really far out there comic book shit.
Yeah,
that's a bad thing. It's comic books.
Supposed to open up with the Justice League, the ones that are in there now, helping in a national disaster. So you can see them coming together, and John looks frustrated as fuck.
John looks so over all of this.
Well, I just watched 4-hour movie.
We open with Justice League in action during a national disaster, working as effective, powerful team they become. Weeks after Justice League 1, they act together, they save lives, but they refuse. So political tensions is high. I don't know. I can't read fucking Zack's handwriting. The world is on edge. So I'm assuming the world knows what happened and what they did.
Okay.
And all that stuff. Bruce secretly meets with Lois, both of them still searching for Lex Luthor, who is, doing his thing. There's tension between them since Superman has returned. The meeting ends after Lois tells Bruce that Superman needs her more than ever. Bruce knows Lois is hiding something else. Okay, Lex Luthor recruiting a league of his own, and it goes into a whole fucking mess of sorry, I closed it and I had to breathe for a second. Of Darkseid invading. And then that's when everything goes anti-life.
Okay.
With the death of Lois, which is caused by him tubing into the Batcave, killing Lois. Superman sees it, couldn't save her. Superman is the key to basically all the nightmare scene is because of Superman.
Right.
As we've seen in Justice League, he kills Aquaman and he kills Wonder Woman, or they're both dead. And then all that's left is Batman, Flash, Cyborg. There's no mention of the other ones. The Justice League 2 is supposed to end with them going to a way to go to Apocalypse to bring the battle to them.
Okay.
To Darkseid, and that's where the Green Lanterns are supposed to come in. And then that was supposed to be a nod to the Green Lantern Corps movie, because they were supposed to have a segment of them helping and then them doing their own thing, or vice versa, doing their own thing and then helping them out. This is all original plan.
You know what?
I checked out, guys.
Yeah, there's a lot to it that I love, and there's a lot that I miss because I only covered the things that I like. But I hate the Lois Batman thing. I hate. There's. What else do I fucking hate? That's the main thing I really fucking hate. There's a whole segment of hunting for Lex Luthor while he's on the run in the Amazon, so I can only picture him with a fucking hat and a safari hat and everything. I just can't. But Justice League 3.
Zack Snyders vision, everybody. This is what you get.
But he did say, I believe, he's written new storyboards to coexist with the new DCEU. So I think that's
which we're canceling because Flashpoint, right?
Possibly. We don't know what they're going to do with Flashpoint.
Yeah, I have no idea.
They could use it to retcon some things. Hell, they could use it to retcon everything. But we have no idea what they're doing with that.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they're bringing back fucking Tim Burton Batman, Michael Keaton
Batman
for that. I mean,
is that still like happening?
Yes.
For sure.
I asked Glenn the same question.
Yes.
I haven't heard news about that in a while.
Like Peter said the same thing. The only news that came out was I don't remember her name.
Iris West.
Iris West that we saw in Justice League is casted in that movie. That's the latest news, and that was a week ago, 2 weeks ago. The last thing that I heard, and this was on Sunday and Monday, and I don't like I said before, I don't like to throw names around, but I talked to a guy at HBO, and they did kind of green light a Justice League 2, but in the new storyboard form. So these old storyboards are, I don't know how accurate they are.
Okay.
And so far that he hasn't been wrong on me. Everything that I don't ask him for spoilers. I just ask him for if these rumors are true, to leave it very vague for me. So I don't want details on it. I just want a yes or no. And he did say a Justice League 2 has been green lit, but I didn't tell him. I didn't ask for a date. So it could be down the line. It could be after Aquaman 2 and Flashpoint, and see what they're going to do with there.
All right.
Yeah. So Restore the Snyderverse isn't going to happen, but it is going to happen. Because it would be I'm assuming a Snyder movie.
So he's got a new job.
Yeah. That's everything that I have.
Well,
so far.
Hopefully it's good. Whatever happens.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, those storyboards are out there. So he has this very fortunate ability to kind of gauge what people think and kind of just go from there. So what people like, what people don't like. It's going to be hard to weed through his diehard, rose-colored glasses fans, because they're going to like everything. But who knows? There's a lot of potential in this one. This one sets up a lot of cool stuff. Batman Lois thing's fucking stupid as shit.
Pretty dumb, yeah.
But the other things, just Darkseid in general, is set up very nicely. And I guess Flashpoint.
We'll see what happens there.
Yeah, I guess so. We pretty much got through all my notes without me going through each one.
Yay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And significantly shorter than a 4-hour movie. Still. 4 pages of notes.
Jesus Christ, this episode felt like 4 hours.
It's only been an hour and a half, believe it or not.
It felt like we're doing this forever.
It certainly feels like it's us getting a
We're
lot
talking
longer.
about a movie that went on forever.
And it was amazing.
Nah, parts of it.
Most of it.
Nah, definitely not most of it. Do you still want to try ranking them?
Jesus Christ.
I can tell you my ranking.
Maybe another time. Well, we already know what your number one's going to be, you fanboy.
Yeah.
Aquaman.
I don't know. Maybe we should save that for another time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fuck. So much DC.
Final thoughts? Good one. Glenn?
Fucking, it's worth the watch.
Okay.
It is worth a watch. I want to hear everybody's opinion on it. I'm not trying to change anybody's mind, but it is worth a watch. Especially if you're going to be comparing them and you want to talk the differences between them. But just knowing that Josh's movie is canon. That's the canon movie.
For now, yeah.
For now. We'll see what's going to happen in the upcoming weeks.
I mean, all the major bullet points are there, with the exception of Lois's pregnancy. Pretty much the whole plot ends the same.
Yeah. Agreed.
I mean, you can always add that in retrospect. So at this point, I don't think it really matters which one's canon, to be honest.
Yeah.
Especially if we're going to be messing with timelines and the nightmare futures are going to be different either way. Because in one nightmare future, Batman's by himself. And another one, he's got his whole ragtag group of heroes and villains, the ones that are left over. At this point, I don't think it really matters which one's canon.
Yes. Okay.
That being said, I will agree. It is certainly worth a watch. It is a significant improvement from the theatrical release.
There are notable, if you're not going to sit through the 4-hour version ever again, or if it is your first time, there are spots you could stop the movie.
That's not the point.
It's not the point, but there is spots you can stop the movie. There are chapters and there are spots during those chapters you could stop it and continue it.
There are spots in most movies. It's called the pause button.
No, I know, but this one actually gives you a episode-ish thing.
Yeah, it's not an episode though.
It's a
It's
movie.
a film.
It's very much a movie.
Yeah. Not getting into this conversation with Peter.
It's very much a movie, though.
Yeah. We talked about it on our last episode, and I'm not going to get into it.
Did we? I don't remember.
Yeah. We did.
Did I have the same opinion?
Yes, you did.
My opinion's consistent. Okay, good.
They're very consistent.
Okay.
I've been arguing BVS for 5 years now. I utterly enjoy that fucking movie.
I'm glad. I'm glad that somebody enjoys it. It boggles my mind that anybody can, but I'm glad that
There's
people
a whole
do.
crew of people
I've
who love it.
said it before, and I am the only one in this group of friends that fucking love that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not
And I think
wrong.
I'm the only one that enjoys Justice League. To watch it multiple times.
With this one?
Yeah. To watch it multiple times. Straight.
I've already seen the last hour 3 times at this point. And I'll probably watch the second half of it multiple times. I would watch this again, hands down. I will probably skip the first half.
That's fair.
Like damn near every time, I'll probably skip the first half. But yeah,
I'll
the
skip
back
every
half.
Wonder Woman theme.
Yeah, mute the TV every time Wonder Woman pops on screen.
Oh, another bathroom break. Let's go.
Yep, pretty much.
I'm sorry. I love the movie. I hate that theme. I'm not getting into that again.
I love the movie. It's not perfect. Don't kid yourselves, you fanboys. No movie's perfect. That's not even really a jab. No movie's perfect.
Have you seen Mrs. Doubtfire?
Did you see the thing about that?
Yes, I did.
Release.
God, I wish there was a. I know.
Release the NC-17 cut.
I don't even want to ask.
We'll tell you later.
Okay.
All right, I think that does it for this episode. An hour and 30 minutes, give or take. You know, it's not a 4-hour movie.
So long. Jesus Christ.
Oh wait, this is long, but the fucking, yeah, I'm over it. We're done. I'm over it. We're done. So okay. So that was it. That was another episode of the STGeek podcast / Fresh Ones / maybe Mad Raven OnlyFans / Beer Belly.
Slash everything.
Yeah, slash everything.
Joe Rogan experience. Why not?
Don't even get started on that asshole.
Oh, you heard him.
Fuck Joe Rogan. Come at me, bro.
You heard him. Come at him.
I'll take an ass beating. I'll get a good.
He does not speak for the rest of us.
No, he doesn't.
I've seen that man's back kick.
I've seen that man's back kick too, and I would get fucked up. But best believe my teeth marks will be on his foot.
Quicker than Darkseid in that flashback, or the Green Lantern. Anyway, I think that does it. I forgot how we end these things. Follow us on socials, SD Geek, on Instagram, on Facebook. Not TikTok. What's the other one? Twitter. STGeekPod. Is it STGeek or STGeekPod?
STGeekPod.
STGeekPod on Twitter, on all the socials, really. Hit us up on stgeekpod@gmail.com. Any inquiries, if whatever you want us to talk about next, we may consider it. Probably will. There's not much else going on. Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I forgot that was a thing.
Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. Get some Marvel news back in here. Fuck yeah. Marvel. Falcon.
I utterly enjoyed WandaVision. So let's fucking go.
You enjoyed it. Okay, I know we're wrapping up, but real quick. I think in hindsight, Glenn enjoyed it the best way because he waited for it to all come out and then just binged all of it.
I watched it in 2 days.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think watching
That's the best way.
I don't think watching it weekly did.
They didn't do that.
I don't think it did that show any favors.
No.
There was too much speculate. Anyway, if you wanted, I think we talked about that in our last episode. Did we do the WandaVision episode yet?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's hard to keep track of. It's hard to keep track of life.
I think you guys were supposed to.
No, we did.
Because
I think we did.
We were supposed to do it, and you're like, I don't want to talk about it again. I was like, okay, then we won't.
You get tired of talking about the same shit.
Yeah.
Like a 4-hour movie.
Usually Glenn will the first time Glenn tricked me into our new podcast, Fresh Ones, he basically just tricked me into ranting, and that's pretty much what.
And recorded you.
Yeah, that's pretty much what our podcasts are. He'll trick me into a rant.
That's how you
It was a good
40
40-minute fucking rant. Anyways, I'm Glenn. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter. I have a TikTok, but I don't post bullshit on
He
it.
just sends me things.
I send everybody fucking everything. All at random1s_.
Yep, and then there's John.
There's John. Again, John. NSTG John.
I'm at PG Chowder. I stream sometimes at Twitch. All right, I think that does it. Thank you for listening. We'll catch you next time.
What does STGeek stand for?
Don't worry about it. Watch the first episode.
And that's not even the real one that we...
It is, isn't it?
No.
Okay.